Hello everyone, my second topic is all about Presidential Decree number 603. Presidential Decree number 603, the Child and Youth Welfare Code. What is Presidential Decree number 603? The Council for the Welfare of Children was created through Presidential Decree 603, otherwise known as the Child and Youth Welfare Code in 1974. It is mandated to coordinate the implementation and enforcement of all laws, formulate, monitor, and evaluate policies, programs, and measures for children. It was approved on December 10, 1974. Then after 6 months, it took effect on June 10, 1975. Now let's move on to Title I, General Principles. Article 1, Declaration of Policy. The child is one of the most important assets of the nation. Every effort should be exerted to promote his welfare and enhance his opportunities for a useful and happy life. It means that the child is the most important assets of the nation because, as what Dr. Jose Rizal said, ang kabataan ang pag-asa ng bayan. The children is the hope of the nation because the success of the nation lies in their hands. They will become the next leader of the nation, so it is their rights to receive enough protection and more opportunities that will enhance their talents and skills. Those opportunities serve as a practice for themselves, for them to be a better person and to live a meaningful life. Next, the child is not a mere creature of the state. Hence, his individual traits and aptitudes should be cultivated to the utmost and so far as they do not conflict with the general welfare. It means that the children are not a mere creatures of the state, so the children should be nurtured and guide them to their destiny for them to be recognized and be prepared to their additional obligations of the country. Next is the molding of the character of the child starts at the home. Consequently, every member of the family should strive to make the home a wholesome and harmonious place, as its atmosphere and condition will greatly influence the child's development. Meaning, it is true that shaping the character of the child begins at home because it is the first place where they are nurtured and trained that influence their development. So it is important for the parents or every member of the family to make their home friendly or pleasing environment because it will affect to the development of the child. If the environment is very pleasing, it will give positive effect to the mindset of the children. Next is attachment to the home, and strong family ties should be encouraged, but not to the extent of making the home isolated and exclusive and unconcerned with the interests of the community and the country. It means that the parents or every member of the family should have a good relationship to one another, and at the same time, the parents should encourage their children to be part or to participate to every activities in their community and to help them to become the good citizen of the country. Next is the natural right and duty of parents in the rearing of the child. For civic efficiency should receive the aid and support of the government. Meaning it is the right, duty, and responsibility of the parents to educate their child to become a well-informed, active, and responsible citizen of the country and should have the assistance from the government. Next is other institutions like the school, the church, the guild, and the community in general should assist the home and the state in the endeavor to prepare the child for the responsibilities of adulthood. It means that it is the right of the children to be valued and to be taken care by their parents or family and should have the support or assistance from the school, church, and other institutions that will help them to prepare themselves to become a responsible adult in the future. Now, let's proceed to Article 2, Title and Scope of Code. The code shall be known as the Child and Youth Welfare Code. It shall apply to persons below 21 years of age, except those emancipated in accordance with law. Child or minor or youth, as used in this code, shall refer to such persons. It means that this code is only applicable for those children ages below 21, but those emancipated children are not included. When we say emancipated children, are those children who live on their own. They are not dependent to their parents, and they are the one who are responsible for themselves, especially for the basic needs. So they are the one who make decision for himself. Now let's move on to Article 3, Rights of the Child. All children shall be entitled to the rights herein set forth without distinction as to legitimacy or illegitimacy, sex, social status, religion, political antecedents, and other factors. It means that all children have the right to be acknowledged and valued without looking for their differences they have, without looking for the internal and external factors that influence them as a person. When we say legitimate child, it means that the child was born inside a marriage, meaning ang bata gipanganak after magpakasal iyang biological parents. Then when we say illegitimate child, the child was born outside the marriage, meaning ang bata gipanganak nga wala pa gikasal ang iyang ginikanan. Reason, manang wa gikasal kay tungod ang usa sa iyang parents kasal sa lain, o kaya iyang parents or iyang biological parents wala pa nag-decide nga magpakasal. So nasa gitawag nga legitimated child. It means that the child was born and undergo the process of legitimation, meaning ang bata gipanganak nga wala pa gikasal ang iyang biological parents, but after months or years nagpakasal ang iyang biological parents, so matawag na siya nga legitimated child. Next, number 1, every child is endowed with the dignity and worth of a human being from the moment of his conception, as generally accepted in medical parlance, and has, therefore, the right to be born well. It means that every child has the right to be born and valued as a human being from the moment of his conception. So when we say conception, is the start of life, when the egg cell and sperm cell unites. The union of egg cell and sperm cell is called the process of fertilization. So the other term for conception is fertilization, the beginning of life. So meaning ang bata naa pa sa womb sa mother, muna siyang conception, the start of life. Next is number 2. Every child has the right to a wholesome family life that will provide him with love, care, and understanding, guidance and counseling, moral and material security. The dependent or abandoned child shall be provided with the nearest substitute for a home, meaning every child has the right to have a family that will provide his needs and guide him in the right path, teaching him what is right and wrong. Then when we say dependent child, are those children who did not have parents or guardians. They are dependent upon the public support, meaning mao na sila ang bata nga walay mga ginikanan or guardian, tapos ang ilang mga basic needs nakadepende ngadto sa ilang mga silingan o ngadto sa mga tao nga maayo na malumoy nga kasing-kasing nga mitabang sa ila paghatag sa ilang basic needs. Muna siya ang dependent child. Then when we say abandoned child, are those children who have not received proper care from their parents. So meaning, mao na sila ang mga bata nga giabandon na sa ilang ginikanan. Next is number 3. Every child has the right to a well-rounded development of his personality to the end that he may become a happy, useful, and active member of society. Under of this, first is the gifted child shall be given opportunity and encouragement to develop his special talents. Second, the emotionally disturbed or socially maladjusted child shall be treated with sympathy and understanding and shall be entitled to treatment and competent care. When we say maladjusted children, are those children who raise in a way that does not prepare them well for the demands of life, which lead them to have problems in their behavior. Last, the physically or mentally handicapped child shall be given the treatment, education, and care required by his particular condition. So when we say mentally handicapped children, are those children who have intellectual disabilities. So those children who have physical and mental disabilities have the right to receive equal access to education, treatment, and care for their particular condition. Next is number 4. Every child has the right to a balanced diet, adequate clothing, sufficient shelter, proper medical attention, and all the basic physical requirements of a healthy and vigorous life. Meaning, all children should receive enough basic needs like food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, and other basic requirements of a healthy life. Next is number 5. Every child has the right to be brought up in an atmosphere of morality and rectitude for the enrichment and the strengthening of his character. It means that it is the right of the children to be raised in a good path, like teaching them what is right and wrong, for the improvement of their character. Next is number 6. Every child has the right to an education commensurate with his abilities and to the development of his skills for the improvement of his capacity for service to himself and to his fellow men. It means that all children with or without disabilities have the right to have a proper education. It is because proper education will help the children to enhance their abilities and to improve their capacity in serving others. 7. Every child has the right to full opportunities for safe and wholesome recreation and activities, individual as well as social, for the wholesome use of his leisure hours. It means that it is the right of the children to spend their leisure time in doing recreational activities like playing games, dancing, swimming, running, and other activities that will help them improve their health, imagination thinking, and their overall well-being. Children have the right to rest, play, and enjoy the things that they want to do, like doing their hobbies. Doing the things that they want to do, it will enhance their physical, social, and other aspect of a human being. Next is number 8. Every child has the right to protection against exploitation, improper influences, hazards, and other conditions or circumstances prejudicial to his physical, mental, emotional, social, and moral development. Meaning all children have the right to receive adequate protection against violence, abuses, and exploitation made by adults. It is very important that children must have adequate protection because as vulnerable person, they are more exposed to discrimination, violence, mistreatment, and exploitation. So every child has the right to protection in different conditions or circumstances. These include those children who suffered from any of these abuses, violence, and exploitation, and those who are not must also receive adequate protection for them to remain in social security and protection net. Next,